Hello, happiness abounders, and welcome back. Really excited today to talk about integrating your chain habits into your routines, your days off, etc. If you'll recall yesterday's episode, we took a look at identifying your if-then habits and really seeing what routines are impacting your goals. So we identified what we need to change, but we haven't necessarily identified how we need to change it. And that's what today's episode is all about. So let's dive into that a little bit. Chain habit integration. What does that even mean, right? So yesterday we spoke about chain habits and how you do one thing, it leads to another, and it leads to another. This is a great way to implement new habits and routines into your life, but we have to find a way to do it easily to replace the if-then chain habits that we identified yesterday. So, looking at what we identified yesterday, let's take a look. I shared my story all about Netflix and overeating and how it was really kicked off because I would come home and first thing I would do is sit on the couch in the living room. So I'd sit on the couch in the living room and be like, well, I might as well watch some TV. Then I'd turn on Netflix, and then the whole time I was watching Netflix, I would have to be doing something with my hands, and I'd be bored, and I was dealing with a lot of negative emotions, but not dealing with them. And so I was numbing them out with TV and food, and I would just eat and eat and eat, and I gained a lot of weight. And when I discovered that I had this chain of if-then, if I sit down, if I turn on TV, then I eat, then I was able to identify that and go, okay, let's really take a look at this. Now, the big part there is the why. Why, what purpose was this serving me? It was serving me the purpose of numbing, right? We spoke about that in yesterday's episode. Highly recommend checking it out if you haven't yet. It's 337. Anyways, we spoke about if-then habits and the purpose it's serving you, whether it's not serving a purpose that you want it to serve, you have it in your life for a reason. So for me, I was really numbing out on TV and food because I was dealing with, but not dealing with, a lot of negative emotions. So what did I need to do to break that chain and integrate a new chain and routine into my life to help me go after my goal of, I really don't want to be 20 pounds overweight. So what I did is I looked at what I usually did and I just tried to do something different. I tried to create a new pattern, a new chain in my life. So when I would come home, instead of sitting on the couch, kicking off my shoes and then be like, oh, I watched some TV, I would go straight upstairs, drop off my bag, and then I'm upstairs. I'm in a totally different spot. And I would try to stay upstairs. I'd like grab a book, I'd have something to do, or I would run upstairs, change my clothes, and then be ready to go back downstairs and do other things. But it wasn't just to drop my bag on the floor, go and sit on the couch, and then do nothing for hours on end. I knew I needed to cut that at the pass, which meant not going and sitting down on the couch and avoiding it at all costs. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a bit of a tester when it comes to this kind of stuff. Not like official, I'm not a questioner, I'm not super analytical, but I do like to test things out and be like, okay, was that a fluke? Did that work for me? It's been working for me. What if I don't do it? What happens? And so I had gone a few weeks of not sitting on my couch, not doing Netflix, not overeating. I was losing weight. It was great. I was like, I'm going to sit down. This was after a month. So I was like, I'm going to sit down and on the couch and kind of see what happens. So I sat down on the couch and I was like, I'm not going to turn on the TV. No, I'm not going to turn on the TV. No, I'm not going to turn on the TV. Maybe I'll turn on the TV for a little bit. And I totally like talked myself back into my habit because it was so ingrained because I'd only had a month without it. So I really had to look at my routine and cut that off at the pass. Now, another chain habit integration that I have in my life is here at the podcast. I struggle to record the podcast on non-work days because I have a chain set up. I get up, I do my morning routine, then I get ready for the day, then I come record the podcast, and the last thing I do is I leave for work. And if I don't have the leave for work part, then there's not really the point of the get ready part, and those are the two bookends to the chain habit of recording the podcast every single day. So on holidays that fall during the week, I struggle. I have to force myself to get up and to record an episode. And it's so much harder for me because I've set up a chain that gives me days off, and on my days off I don't have work. So when I have normal days that I need to record but I don't have work, it's so hard for me. And that's how I had to set this up to be successful for me. So the whole point here in those two stories is without those chain habits, whether the bad one, if you will, of me kicking off the chain by sitting down on the couch, or the good one of me saying I need to do X to record the podcast and I'll get to Z, those help me get after what I want to, right? In some ways. I was using the first one, the Netflix, to numb, and that's what I wanted at the time, and now I've broken that chain and I have a new chain, and that chain helps me achieve my goals. And then the podcast definitely helps me achieve my goals because I have a goal of wanting to do a podcast every day, right? Every weekday. So what my question is for you is, how can you do that in your own life? Yesterday we looked at your if-then habits. Now let's really take a look at, great, if-then habits like Netflix. What can you do to break that chain and easily integrate a new chain habit in? Break that first part and you should be pretty solid, right? But also let's look at how you can create a chain habit for something you want to do. How can you integrate that in? How can you look for that, how that could work in your life? The podcast is a great example. I have days off. I don't record it on Saturdays and Sundays. And that's great because it gives me a bit of a break. And those days are really hard for me anyways because I don't have the chain set up the same way I do on weekdays. So look at that kind of stuff. Look at your normal routine and see where you can fit in a chain habit that helps you achieve your goals. A lot of people will do stuff after they brush their teeth because it's a chain habit. You brush your teeth every single day, then you can go do whatever it is that you were wanting to do, and then you can come back and finish your morning routine, your get ready routine. Then you create kind of this chain habit, like I brush my teeth and then I do this, because the brush of your teeth is always going to happen. Just like a morning routine, you're going to wake up and then you just kick off your morning routine. So look for things like that, existing spots in your routine where you can integrate a chain habit. Plan for time off. Plan for those days that are like weekends where maybe your get ready routine or the things that happen in your day are not consistent with the other 5 days of the week or whatever days you have off of work. Take a look at that and plan for that, because I can tell you what's going to happen. You're going to set up a routine in Monday through Friday, and the weekend's going to hit, and you didn't plan for it, and the chain is slightly different, and then you're like, oh, I didn't do that today. And then you feel like crap because you didn't do it today, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure, I broke the chain, and I'll start again on Monday. Right? But what you need to do is just plan for it. And maybe there's a different chain on the weekends. Maybe there's a different chain on your days off. But take a look at those things and see how you can integrate those chain routines into your life easily so that you can go after your goals. Yesterday we identified if-then it's not serving us in the way we want. Now we're setting ourselves up to service us the way that we want to go after our dreams and up-level our life. So that said, I'm going to end that here today. Have a wonderful day. If you liked this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe on your listening platform of choice. I think you can only review on Apple Podcasts, and that's a quick 5-star click, or leave a written copy review. That would be even better. So that said, have a wonderful day. Share this episode. Look for, or review this episode. Look for how you can identify routines and chain habit areas to help you achieve your goals. And above everything else, remember, you are capable of happiness abound.